So, good morning and welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. Today we're going to speak about a few players that are linked with a move in and out of Arsenal Football Club. Before I do that, I want to say thanks very much to everybody who watched the watch-along yesterday, the cup final. It was nice to actually sit back and watch Arsenal win a trophy, which hasn't happened for quite a while, but I never watched that game back. I was actually at that cup final against Chelsea and I've never watched it back. And yeah, everyone knows I'm a Sanchez fanboy, or was a Sanchez fanboy until he left and broke my heart. Still ain't got over it. But yeah, it was nice to watch that back. Per Mertesacker, what a performance. Danny Welbeck as well. And obviously Alexis. Aaron Ramsey popping up with the winner. And it made me wonder why we can't do that all the time. Why can we throw our bodies on the line in big games? Like finals, why can't we do that constantly, every single game? Fighting for each other, everyone giving everything. And let's not have it right here as well. Chelsea were record-breaking champions in terms of most wins in a Premier League season at that point. And I remember when we were going to the game, we were in and around Wembley, in the fan parks and that, nobody gave us a prayer. So to go and do that was mad. But anyway, listen, I digress. Let's get straight into the nitty gritty and we're going to talk about Antoine Griezmann. Now we know that he went on his massive money move from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona in the summer. Hasn't particularly worked out very well for him. He scored, 10 league goals this season and they're already looking to get rid of him. And this is what Barcelona do. It makes me laugh that, they go and do massive money on somebody like Ousmane Dembele, Coutinho, Griezmann. We're not talking little transfer fees here. We are talking well over £100 million transfer fees. And this is acting like a big club. They go and pay the money. If it doesn't work within 1 year, they go, boy, you're gone. And they go and move you on. Now, we are in the race to get Antoine Griezmann and we're said to be one of the hot favourites to get him. So, listen, he's 29 years old, just turned a couple of days ago. He turned 29. I'm still not keen on this guy. I genuinely do not rate him at all. We see him at the Emirates when Arsenal played Atletico, again, a game I was at, a game that we dominated. They were down to 10 men, Simeone was sent off, and then Koscielny happened. And he kicked the ball over his head, hit Griezmann, he went clean through, Mustafi slid over on the line and the guy taps it into an empty net. They then knocked us out in the away game, Diego Costa scoring the goal. But at Atletico Madrid, I think that he was the big fish in a smaller pond. He was the star guy. Yes, they had a lot of good defenders and they're still relentless defensively. I love watching Atletico. Just to see the art of defending, which has fallen out of the game real quick. Just to see that in full flow with Simeone and his team and the way they all fight for each other. That's something that needs to make a comeback. It's all well and good doing this attacking football and it looks fantastic when you pull it off. But defending's just as good for me. And defenders can't defend these days. It's all about being technically good on the ball. How about actually learn how to defend, then be technically good on the ball? But Antoine Griezmann, linked to Arsenal. Now, again, I said this the other day, I'm pretty much saying this every single day. This all links back to Aubameyang. Now, Aubameyang still hasn't signed a contract, still nowhere near signing a contract. And could Griezmann be a swap? Aubameyang is worth maybe 50, 60 million pounds. Griezmann, I don't know. I don't know how much they'd be prepared to let him go for. Maybe we could give Aubameyang to them and take Griezmann on loan with a view to buy. I don't know. The one thing I do know is that they are going to get rid of Griezmann this summer, along with Coutinho and probably Ousmane Dembele. So there's 3 players that they've spent out nearly 400 odd million pounds on that are surplus to requirements. Add them 3 players up in terms of transfer fees, that costs more than Arsenal's football team, the whole team, which is pretty mad. And that kind of shows the parallels between the two clubs. Remember when we were moving to the Emirates to compete with them, yeah? We can't compete with Burnley, let alone them. So yeah, I do think it's a bit of a madness, but Arsenal are said to be linked really heavily to him. And he did say before, he come out in an interview before and said that he was supposed to be coming to Arsenal. He obviously didn't do that because of Wenger, apparently. And and that all went sideways. And listen, he divides opinion, which is why I don't want him. I want somebody that's not a big name, that's not a household name, that's not coming towards the end of his career, that's not looking for that big bumper pay deal, having come off of the back of being in Messi's shadow at Barcelona. Yes, he would come in and probably be the star player at Arsenal, the big fish in the small pond again, like he was at Atletico. But I don't see it. I don't think he's a very good footballer. I think he'd do all right in the Premier League. Would he reach the heights he did at Atletico in the Premier League? I don't think so. He's lost a yard of pace. He's getting older. He's still technically very good. He does score goals. Cool. Has he got a point to prove? Probably not. You know, the geezer's a very good footballer that's won pretty much everything he can win. So what's his point? You know, what is his point? What does he have to win? You know, he doesn't have to do anything. The guy could retire now and live comfortable for the rest of his life. So I don't know. Obviously, we've got Lacazette. That could be a little French connection going on there. We've got Guendouzi, obviously. I don't know. Leave it in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. But apparently, we are really interested in Griezmann, and that's something we're exploring now. Obviously, one last thing I want to say on this as well is Raul Sanllehi used to be the big wig, the top guy up at Barcelona. Maybe he's pulling a few strings behind the scenes. I don't know, but one thing I do know is we need to hurry up and get this solved one way or another with Aubameyang, whether that be taking Griezmann in return or whether that be something else. We need to get it done now. Either sign the deal or sell or swap, whatever you want to do. But listen, leave it in the comments. Would you take Antoine Griezmann at Arsenal? If so, would you do it as a swap for Aubameyang? If not, how much would you get him for? Let's move on to Martinelli. Martinelli, again, is linked with a move away from Arsenal. And it's no surprise to me. Listen, he came out the other day and said that he wants to win the Champions League at Arsenal. I like this kid. I like his attitude. I like the way he plays football. Everything about him says he's going to go on to be great. He's coming to Arsenal, a new club, a new country, a new city. And it's not the easiest city to bed down in. It's a massive city, London. And, you know, the one thing I will say about London is there's little pockets of communities from every single country across the planet. So maybe that's helped him settle in a little bit easier. He's obviously got David Luiz to help him as well, being a fellow Brazilian. But he's been absolutely superb. And that has raised the eyebrows of, oh, hello, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Juve, any other big club out there. They're all after him. They all want him. And why wouldn't they? You know, some people say, oh, well, it's a load of rubbish. Well, it's not. The reason players get touted to go off to other clubs is for a few reasons. Either their agents put it out there, they've put it out there, the club that wants to buy them has put it out there, to maybe take this shift away from somebody else they actually want to buy. I don't know. But listen, there's normally no smoke without fire. He's a fantastic footballer. Why wouldn't the best clubs in the world want him? You know, could you imagine him at Barcelona, learning off Messi and the likes of that? Even at Real Madrid, you know, working under Zinedine Zidane, one of the greats of the game. You know, so I think that there is no smoke without fire. And I do think he will stay. I think he will stay this season. But if he goes on and kicks on again next level next season, whenever that may be, I do think that he will be gone. And very similar to how I spoke about Guendouzi yesterday. Guendouzi came in for about £8 million. We could sell him for about £38 million now. So this is how Arsenal Football Club's going to have to go. We're not that massive powerhouse that can go and do £140 million and then bin him a year later. We have to buy smart, we have to buy cheap, and we have to then sell on for a fee more than we paid for him. But listen, leave it in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about Gabriel Martinelli. Do you think he'll be staying at Arsenal this summer? Or do you think he'll get a move to another club? If so, which club do you think he'll get a move to? Don't forget, I will be back later on today with the Premier League transfer update. Then I'll be streaming FIFA, the career mode. We went shopping. We went shopping, baby. We've overhauled everything. We've got 2 squads now, 2 squads FC. So come and keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks for all the help on that as well. So until then, I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.